This is Theodore at Lies of the Devil. Go to liesofthedevil.com, sign up for the newsletter. We've been getting tremendous amount of support. Tremendous amount of support. And I thank the body of Christ for standing up next to us as we go after this guy who people who know who he is knows he's a fraud. Okay. And I mean, we got a call this morning from a gentleman that was like, hey, I'm with you guys. You guys are doing the right thing. Text messages from people that are close to Kent that are saying, praise God, keep spreading the truth. We just got a call from the lady who Kent kicked off the property that is like, listen, I want to do an interview. I'll do an interview with you. We're with you 100%. Thank God you're doing this. I'm not even mad anymore. I really am not even mad anymore. I got that video. I had to get all my frustration out. Okay. But I'm not mad anymore. And in fact, I prayed God shows Kent Hovind his ways and he repents. He won't do that. But I hope he does. I'm just going to go through one part about my marriage to my wife and his false accusations. And I've got proof showing that he's just trying to defame us, trying to slander us with his wicked, just his wickedness. And then about me being a bad worker when I have audio recordings of him saying that I do great work and he wants to keep me around. And then about Mary Toko and her DVDs and how I did such a bad job and whatnot. And I've got emails of basically hers just, anyway, we'll get to that. Okay, let's go one bit at a time. Let's go right into Kent and this about kicking off somebody off their property and Steve and him lying about us. And let's just go through that.
Her pack. And you went over to help her pack and she said, I don't want your help.
Right.
Why would she? I think he's talking about Steve and Mary Toko, like saying, like, we'll help you pack. Why would anybody that knows that you're wicked say, hey, listen, hold my hand. Let's go pack my clothes after you kicked me out and you made me feel like crap. Here, hold my hand, help me pack. You know what I mean? Why would somebody do that? So, anyway, that's that one part. But let's go through the rest of it.
So then I told everybody else, please stay away from her. She's in a bad mood right now. And
this is the actor part of Kent, right? Everybody stay away from her. She's in a bad mood right now. Look at him. You know what I mean? Like, everybody stay away from her. She's in a bad mood right now. Just like in the previous part, he's like talking about how I came home to nothing. Just watch the guy's face. Anybody watch his face. He's just an actor, right? So we'll go on for the rest of this.
I don't know what the problem was. And Theodore and Lene, I said, Theodore, don't go in there. Don't talk to her. And he says, well, I'm going to go help her move. And he and Lene.
Lie. I've got the text message. I should pull up the text message. That's a lie. I did not say that. I have the text message, Kent. So you told me I came up and I showed you the debate series that we were making, the new debates that I did with you when you were in prison with Bill Nye and Bill Maher. And all these people, we broke down a transcription of their debates. And so we were working on these new debates that we were going to put out. And I came to show him a final design. And he was like, hey, that looks great, brother. That looks really great. Keep going with it. But, hey, I need to tell you, Deborah's going to be getting kicked off the property. And I'm like, what? Deborah's going to get kicked off the property here. And you need to go tell your wife to stay away. And I'm like, well, this is Twilight Zone. So I went and I put back the debate designs, and I went to go talk to my wife, okay? And she wasn't there. My wife was already packing with her. And my wife was crying. And this is what I did because wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. And so I went to the kitchen to just watch, to hang back and watch, because I'm not going to tell my wife who's doing a Christian thing, who's devastated, I'm not going to put more trauma and say, hey, listen, come on, get over here, like a caveman, grab her by the hair. Come on, leave her alone. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. So I let my wife help continue to pack this woman's stuff, doing the Christian thing. So I sat back and I watched, and it got out of hand because Roger, they were poking and prodding at this woman, Deborah, to get her to snap, kind of like what Kent Hovind did to me, what I did at that last video, so he can say that I'm crazy. And so they did that to try to make her snap and make her go crazy. And Roger was flailing his arms going, blah, 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 oh, you're crazy, you're crazy. And Steve's just sitting there laughing, I think he was smoking a cigarette too. He was because he smokes all the time. And But it was just like it was bizarro land. And so finally, and again, there's other witnesses to this. There's a guy specifically at the place right now at CSC. I won't tell you his name because I don't. He'll come out when he wants to. But he literally looked at me and goes, "Dude, this is a cult." He looked at me. He could not believe it. So I went and I was like, "Hey, listen, Steve Rogers, stop." I've got the text messages, okay? And I'll show you guys the next video. The more formal video I put. I said, "Steve Rogers, you guys, why are you doing this? You know what I mean? Stop." Even my wife said, "You guys are doing an unchristian-like thing." And so I was just like, "Guys, stop. You guys stay here. Deborah, let's help you guys. Let's help you pack. Let's get your stuff out of here." And Deborah was just like, "Yeah, I want out of here. This is crazy. You guys are all crazy." And she's looking at everybody like, "You guys are in a cult. Don't you understand this? Look what's happening here. And you guys aren't even standing up for you. You're not even helping me." And everybody is like, and Diane, I remember Diane like yelled at me. She's like, "Theo!" And I'm like, "Shut up." You know what I mean? Like this, you guys are Christian, man. You guys are crazy. So I helped her pack. And then the sheriffs show up and the sheriffs are like, "You need to get out of here, lady. You need to get out of here, lady." And I was like, "Guys, can we just help her pack? The faster that we just keep everything calm, we help her pack, she leaves. That's it. We're done with it." And so the sheriffs were like very nice to us. And they're like, yeah, do that. And anyway, that's the end of that story. Deborah has her own story. She'll tell you guys. We'll interview her, and we have patience. So that's that story. So that whole thing is a lie. The whole thing that he just spouted off, lie.
In any way.
Yes, and in my opinion,
Scoot in here where they can see you.
in my opinion, all they did was give this lady an audience, because when they interjected themselves in that situation, it just caused her to go off the handle, which made us have to call the cops, and then they accused us.
That's a lie. They already called the cops. It had nothing to do with us. They already called the cops. It had nothing to do with us causing a scene or nothing. They already called the cops. It was a lie. Look at Kent Hovind do this because he knows it's a lie. Watch him. I'm going to rewind it again. Now watch.
Themselves in that situation, it just caused us to go off the handle, which made us have to call the cops, and then they accused us to be unchristlike when they were the one causing and doing all the actions. Me and Roger were just sitting there.
And that's when I said, "Theodore, I think you and Lene need to leave. You can't be on the property anymore." They were staying together in what's now my office, and I have no evidence they are married. They claim they are, but
Right.
Okay, here we go. Kent Hovind, where's your evidence? Where's your evidence? You know what I mean? I could do the same thing to you. You're such a bad person. My wife and I, September 3rd, 2016, we got married at Fairhope. We gave our vows. We promised each other that we would love each other for the rest of our lives. She's the best gift God could have ever given to me. I'm sorry I'm crying, but I just love her. She's my best friend, and we got married. And to God and ourselves, we got married, and I do the best I can to treat her right. And anyway, so that was September 3rd, and then we got married on April 7th, 2017. After we left, we moved everything. November and December, we moved all of our stuff. We finally got settled in. We started our ministry. Look at all the work we did with laymansbookstore.com, all the videos we put out. And we got married when we finally were like, listen, now's the time to do it. Basically, we decided to do it. And here's our marriage certificate, Kent. Okay? There's the marriage certificate. What does the Bible say about a false accuser, Kent? What does the Bible say about that? Exodus, it's one of the commandments, buddy. Exodus 20:16. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Okay? There's that. And here's the thing. He's going to say I'm bearing false witness against him. I have no reason to. I've got all the stuff to show you guys. So it's no big deal. That's that. Ephesians 4:25, I believe. Yeah, 4:25. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. Why would I want to go to... Can't everybody's tried to talk to you about what your ways. Everybody has. And your family, everybody has, and you won't listen. And you won't have a reasonable discussion. And so why would I come talk to you about these videos and everything that we're getting ready to put out? Why would I do that when I know that it's not fruitful and that it's useless and that you won't listen? I'm doing people a service by protecting the body of Christ against people like Kent Hovind.
Okay, I'd like to see some. Why do you think you're married? Did you stand on the beach and say, "Okay, God, we're married"? I mean, was there? My wife and I had a ceremony and a marriage covenant and a pastor come.
So let's go into the whole marriage covenant thing. All of a sudden he's against me and my wife getting married and giving our vows in front of God, who is most fearful. You should fear Lord with, that's the beginning of wisdom. I fear Lord so much. I could have pulled I know people do this. I could have pulled the whole, we're married. We've been married since September 3rd, and then not do it legally with the state, and then pull away and say that she's an unbeliever. Or I could say she departed from me after I pushed her away because I just was misbehaving, kind of like what you did with Joe. I could have done that, and I didn't. I kept to my word because I fear the Lord. And in fact, my love for my wife, not only did it like grow to a precipice, it was like, we need to get married. I love you. I cannot believe that God would do this and put us together, but it grows every single day. So, and then let's just go through his marriage covenant, like the marriage license. The marriage license that, he espouses that you don't need to get from the state. And so he taught people you didn't need to get a marriage license. He actually taught that. And and now he's mad at us because we didn't, the guy's a goofball.
Like, you have the right to have a church, or does the government create churches? It's the difference between 501c3 and 508c1a. You better study that out. You have the right to get married, or does the government give the right to get married? It's the difference between a marriage license and a marriage covenant. Big difference. Better study.
So Kent has a marriage covenant. I think he has a marriage covenant and it's not legal through the state or whatever, because maybe legally Mary would be tied to Kent and the taxes he owes. I don't know. Or maybe Mary would be linked. I don't know. I mean, they wanted life insurance they wanted to take all life insurance for $500,000. This is what Ernie told me. This isn't like I'm making this up. They wanted to take out a life. First of all, Mary was wanting to get into all the CSE finances. Mary's family tried to do a good thing by her. This is what I've been told, by trying to find out who Kent Hovind really is, et cetera, et cetera. And they were digging in the finances, how it was organized, wanted bank statements or whatever. And again, this is what I was told. And then all of a sudden, that was fishy to them. And then all of a sudden, the board directors and Ernie Land and stuff. And then all of a sudden, she wanted a $500,000 life insurance policy just in case if Kent croaked or just in case something happened. And then they were trying to figure out ways with lawyers and stuff like that on how to get married but not get married and sign a prenuptial agreement, and how she wanted 50% of all the sales of CSE, in case something happens to Kent, plus a $500,000 life insurance. And then she changed the $500,000 life insurance to $1 million life insurance. And people are like, whoa, this is crazy. Who is this thing? So, so Kent, I'm not going to question you in your marriage. You know what I mean? But, if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and it walks like a duck, it's not a pig. Okay? It might be a pig. No, it's not a pig. Here he is again talking about marriage licenses and stuff.
And I have made a commitment to one another and to God to live as man and wife, forsaking all others till death do us part. We have a covenant agreement that we have both signed, hanging prominently in our home, and we have even recorded our marriage date in our family Bible. We have even purchased a Bible law handbook that lists all of God's laws so that we may do our best to follow God's rules on how to have a true marriage. The reason I ask this, like I said, people sometimes say to me, you're not really married, and it hurts and makes me doubt. If my husband and I are working so hard to follow God's rules, why should it matter if we receive permission from the state when marriage ultimately belongs to God? And honestly, I cannot bring myself to make a covenant with God.
Okay, that is certainly not my field of expertise. I do have an opinion on the topic. I think they are probably right. No such thing as a marriage license until after the Civil War, when blacks wanted to marry whites in the South. That is my understanding of it. Everybody, Abe Lincoln did not have a marriage license. George Washington did not have one. Were they married? Yes, the custom of America was you both sign the page in the family Bible, and that's a certificate or a proof of your marriage. You get two witnesses, and that's all you need. So, but that's way off my radar. I don't understand it all.
If you don't understand it, you shouldn't try to make other people feel bad or try to slander somebody and their. Anyway, so that was that, and I could get into but right before Bible studies, there would be like racist jokes that were made. I know he says he's not racist and like, I don't know what this color is. I'm not a white guy. This is the color white. And, he does stuff like that, but he makes racist jokes. Anybody that knows him knows he makes racist jokes. And then when you call him out on it, he's like, oh, I'm just joking around. I think Diane Hummel said something about a joke, and I have to recollect my memory. I have to really concentrate on that so I can recollect my memory. But I called her out on it, and then like she was like, just forget about it. And there's all these witnesses that heard this joke that was like really unruly, and I called her out in front of everybody, and I was like, why would you say something like that? This is a ministry. You know what I mean? You're around other Christians. Why would you joke around about stuff about racism or whatever? And then she got all red, and she was like, "Don't, just leave it alone." And then Kent came in, and I thought Kent would do something about it. And I said, brother, she just did this joke that was like, that's not proper. And he like backed her up. Anyway, I've got to really concentrate on what that was all about, the joke that she said. And I know people will take that as context like, that's not evidence, that's hearsay. No, there was other people. There was other people that were there that I'll have to call them up and get their testimony. But you want to talk about marriage? I just got this picture from somebody who was at DAL, who was very intimate and saw what was going on there, send me this picture and said, hey, Theo, keep going, keep pushing forward. Please, don't leave me out of it. But, you're doing a great job. The next videos, make it more organized or whatever the case being, because it'll help a little bit. It'll help more, I understand that. But she sent me these pictures of him and Mary Toko holding hands 4 to 5 days after the divorce with Joe. So when he says he tried to do everything, here we go. Will it focus? Oh, baby, it's focused on me. Anyway, I'll put this in the documentary. That's the picture that... Okay. Yep.
I can't.
There we go.
Hold on, where is it?
Nope, that's it. Yeah.
That's it? Oh, there you go.
That's them 4 days. This is... They sent me this text. It's not like I'm making this up. They sent me this text saying that was them 5 days after they got a divorce from Joe. Kent never wanted to save his marriage, man. He wanted Mary Toko bad. He's been wanting her for a long time. They were committing emotional adultery while we were going to events. He would call her up and speak to her for like a half hour at a time and just divulge all this stuff about him. And they would like sit there and laugh like little kids. And he actually had Mary Toko come in and do the vaccine videos in his actual house when he was married to Joe Hovind. You can't make it up. It's not like I'm making that up. That happened. People have seen the videos. Here we go. Ooh, this is getting longer than I wanted. This is when Kent Hovind says that I did bad work towards the end, and that's part of the reason why I had to get rid of me, plus I was unruly or whatever. That's a total lie. I've got the audio recording of him saying, brother, I want us to keep doing things for a long time. And I've got Mary Toko's email talking about how she never looked through her DVDs and how she's embarrassed and that I should be embarrassed to let her make the DVDs. And that I trusted you because Kent trusted you and bragged to how good you were. Here we go. I'll just read it right here. So Mary goes, out of this whole email, calling me bitter, calling me this, that, and the other. This was like 5 months ago, 6 months ago, when we just like totally stopped talking to these people. This is the one part she says, I am embarrassed that I didn't check on your work, and you should also be embarrassed that you let something go out like that. I trusted you because Kent trusted you and bragged on how good you were. Thank you. I'm sorry you feel the way you do now, but thank you. I know I do good work. It's crazy. So here, I'm going to play this clip where Kent says, yeah, I'm going to play the audio. Oh, yeah, I'll play the video first. I don't know exactly where it's at, but I'll see if I can try to find it here quick.
To have to ask you to leave. You were such a blessing for so long, but you had to leave. And I think the people watching your YouTube, or what is it, Facebook, now will see why we asked you to leave. When you left, Steve, tell him what he did. He was running the website.
Yeah, and
oh, this is about the passwords and stuff. People, I'll talk about that. What they're talking about is a total lie. But here, let's get to this. We're about the work and stuff. Come on.
Adventureland to try to win souls and influence people. And Theodore, you were a great blessing, and you could be again. But you have a bad attitude, son. You need to get it fixed. You need to go talk to the Lord and say, what on earth am I doing? Why am I doing this? I don't think Absalom ever have I done. when David went to kill Goliath, it's our open house, and Saturday. Everybody that's helped build the cause of Christ.
Yeah, I don't know where exactly it is because it's not like I sit here and I like document all this stuff, you know. Kent says something about how I did bad work. Well, here's a recording of him talking about how I do a great work and how, you know, he wanted to keep me on board or whatever. And anyway, here, let's just play this. Hopefully it won't be overdriven with the audio. You know?
I have no dream of doing that.
Yeah.
No, I love what you do.
Mm-hmm. So
Work for PCC, you cannot do anything outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was your understanding?
Well, then,
No,
but I don't work for you. That's the thing. If
Right.
I work for you, then, I mean, I understand that, but I don't. I mean, I work. You're a client to me. Like,
Correct. That's where we need
right.
to get a clear relationship of what's what, who's who.
Right, and what will happen is we'll probably just get. We probably will leave. We probably won't rent this place out, and we'll probably, you know.
Sub out. I contact you and say, get this
Yeah,
done.
sure, you can do that. And you know, the biggest thing. Well, that's probably what will end up happening. And if you guys want to go through somebody else, you guys can. You know.
I have no dream of doing that.
Yeah.
No.
I have no dream of doing that. And then Mary's like, yeah, you know, and then like, anyway, so let's get to, if I remember correctly, the other part where they were talking about the Mary Toko's DVDs and how basically I had no time. Well, the audio will speak for itself. Here we go.
Well, you answered
But then
yes.
also the
You
second
said-
one was, you need to be here at every,
You
it's,
do what I want, when I want.
He said,
all the
as you have all my
You do
edits.
too? My intent is God has called me to build a ministry, and even to this moment, it's my intellectual property that's driving the funding behind just about everything, okay? Now, to produce that intellectual property, I need a whole lot of people helping me. You scheduling meetings.
It's funny. It's funny. Is it mine? Okay. It's funny. He says it's my intellectual property that's driving all the funding. It's all about a money-making rack. It's all money-making to him. It's all about money. Most of the funds that kept CSE going was actually through donations, because he would sit here and he would cause a crisis and ask you all for money. You know what I mean? And people would donate lots of money because they want to see good works for the Lord. So really, it wasn't really inventory that made the money. And so this is the kind of stuff he does. It's sad.
And making the videos look good, etc.
This is perfect.
That is the way it is. Now, if Theo wants to have his own food bank and something and wants to rent a spot in Noah's Ark, or somebody else wants to do a chiropractor wants to come rent a spot, my intent is to eventually build a creation mall where people run their own ministry, and if we don't like the way, if they have different standards than us, no, you can't work in our mall. But right now, we're not there yet.
I think the reason we had the meeting last night was because we wanted to see if we get my DVD done. Because this
And if
ministry
Theo
can buy it
can't
at
do
wholesale and sell
sub it
them.
out.
Brother.
And at the time when we asked him about a week ago, we mentioned it, but then when I talked to him,
Here's the backstory to that. Mary came. I wanted no part of Mary being in Joe Hovind's house. I wanted none whatsoever. So I taught the neighbor boy down the street on how to film. And again, I'm going to do this with workers in Christ. I want to teach the body of Christ how to do these things so that they can make their own ministries. That was the whole purpose of CSE and the lot that they're at. And anyway, so I taught the neighbor boy how to film Mary Toko's vaccine videos. And so he filmed all of them. And then so after that, all the footage was sent to Mary. And Mary got the footage and she held on to it. She held on. I gave her a hard drive of all the footage. And so she never asked me to do any editing. She didn't want to hide. She never asked to do editing or whatever the case being. And all of a sudden, one week after Lene and I, my wife, we got married, and so she goes, "You need to make these DVDs. I have an event at, I can't remember where exactly, but I need these DVDs done. I want my new video done." And you'll hear in the audio. And it was like, and you'll hear me saying, where am I going to find time to do this? I've got debates. I've got all this stuff that Kent's wanting us to do. Listen, I ran the whole thing. I set up their shipping. I set up their internet now that Steve says that he set up, but really he just Jimmy rigged what I did. I set up everything. CSE, I set it all up. Okay, God used me to set the whole thing up. So it's not like I just did web design and graphic design and video. I did everything, dude. I did the troubleshooting for the IT. I did everything. So she basically, they were like, you need to get this done. And I'm like, listen, Kent, I'm CSE's client. I'm not Mary Toko's client. They don't even want to, she kept saying like, how much can I pay you? How much can I pay you? And it was almost like, dude, I've got so much other stuff to do. You have to go somewhere else. I'll see if I can do it. You have to try to go somewhere else because I got so much other stuff to do. And then they try to make us look bad. I'm going to let the audio play and you guys will see for yourself.
I think yesterday or the day before, he said, I don't know if I'm going to get it done. I might get it done. It's not sure. And that's when he said, no, drop everything. I want it done today because this is
That was Kent Hovind. He told me and my wife, and again, there's a witness to this. Okay, I spoke to him the other day, and they said, yes, I remember this conversation. Him and his wife sat me and Lene down, and with the other witness, and said basically, you work for me, you don't work for anybody else, no other clients. And mind you, I was so overworked that I barely had any time to work on my other clients. And in fact, they left me. Some of them left me because I could no longer watch over their stuff. And I understood that. And I said, listen, I know, I'm, and so when she's talking about clients and stuff, I literally worked for CSE. Like I had other clients, but a lot of the time went to CSE. You know what I mean? I had a portion, like maybe one day out of the week at like an afternoon where I worked on all my clients. And then I went back to CSE doing work with CSE.
Moneymaker for us.
And you're done.
But at the time, you were...
This is perfect.
That is the way it is. Now, if Theo wants to have his own food bank and something and wants to rent a spot in Noah's Ark, or somebody else wants to do a chiropractor wants to come rent a spot, my intent is to eventually build a creation mall where people run their own ministry, and if we don't like the way, if they have different standards than us, no, you can't work in our mall. But right now, we're not there yet.
I think the reason we had the meeting last night was because we wanted to see if we get my DVD done. Because this ministry can buy it wholesale and sell them.
Brother,
and at the time when we asked him about a week ago, we mentioned it, but then when I talked to him, I think yesterday or the day before, he said, I don't know if I'm going to get it done. I might get it done. It's not sure. And that's when he said, no, drop everything. I want it done today because this is a real moneymaker for us.
And you're done.
But at the time, you were kind of like,
even if I were to give you a bid, would it matter?
What do you mean would it
Even
matter?
if I were to give you a bid and you needed it done right away, would it matter?
Yeah,
would it matter that
2 other bids if it's too high, but otherwise,
okay, well then in 2 days you can go do something else with somebody else. I've told you that. I even told you that. I said, listen, you need to go with somebody else.
Realistically, Theo, you have the footage to all my lectures. You have all my edits.
You do too.
I have the edits. I don't know anyone around here. You can't necessarily.
Okay, but you're making me look like the bad guy as if I didn't give you a bid.
Gives you guys an incredible deal.
Yeah, you're not going to find it anywhere else. No, it's all about, these guys are mind screws, man. They're psychopaths. They're hardcore psychopaths. And anyway, my wife and I stayed up 48 hours. Anybody that was at CSE knows this. They're witnesses, man. It's not like I'm making this up. There's people that are good people that saw how hard we work, and I hope that they come out. I hope they call me, 520-510-3982. Call me, we'll get the interview. There are people that saw how hard we worked. We worked for 48 hours straight to get them their DVDs. And I literally had to cipher through like 24 hours of videos, try to do all of Mary's edits that she had laid down, plus look at other stuff. And I forgot one of the discs because I was so because I didn't have it in her list of edits. I didn't have that one page of list of edits. And so she got all upset because we couldn't make those edits after we worked 48 hours. And she actually approved of the DVDs. And now here she's saying I'm embarrassed that I didn't look over the work. So after 48 hours, busting our butts to make sure this work was done, I didn't ask her for one dime for the actual the video production edits. I didn't ask for that. All the price came was from making these DVDs, and we were giving them such a good price, and people know that it was literally like we weren't making money off of it. It was just a lot of work. And so these are masters because I didn't want to waste money on the print, so I use these cheaper things as masters. But here's me. We've got DVDs. People buy DVDs from us, and they say it's incredibly professional, and it's very good. It plays on the DVDs. Sorry, Kent. I know that you like to say that the DVDs didn't work. Yeah, it's all glossy. It's very professional.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And so I gave him these DVDs, and I'm gonna get into her emails where she's just constantly here's Mary Toko. Here's who she is. This is why probably nobody wants to work with her. I don't know. More than likely because she said that nobody else wanted to do her work for her, and that's why they had to rely on me. And I'm sure that there are. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that whole thing. But this is who she is. She's one of those customers that goes through Walmart and she picks up yellow pencils. Okay, and she takes the yellow pencils back home and she might use one pencil, two pencils, and then she goes, "I wanted white pencils, not yellow pencils. I got to go back." And they go back to Walmart, and she goes to the customer service aisle. She goes back to the customer service. She goes, "Listen, I wanted white pencils. I did not know that these were yellow pencils. I wanted white pencils from the very beginning." And they're like, "They're pencils. They're yellow pencils. You grabbed yellow pencils. You want white pencils?" "I want white pencils." And they just keep bantering back and forth just like until she gets her way. And then finally the Walmart customer is like, "Go get the white pencils. Go find white pencils. Take the white pencils and the yellow pencils. Just get out of here, lady." And that's what happened with us. You know what I mean? It was like constantly like, it didn't matter what I did. It didn't matter how hard I worked. I didn't ask for a dime when we were doing the 48-hour, run to get these DVDs done. Every single thing, even when she approved of it, she found mistakes afterwards to try to get the product for free. Let me see if I can pull up the text. There we go. Okay, here we go. Mary Toko, oh, thank you. Oops. Sorry, guys. This is live to tape. Here we go. Excuse me. "I just tried to play those 2 discs on my computer looking for other edit issues, and they will not play." This is my response. "Did you try them on another player? They may not be auto-playing. We double-checked all the discs, and they worked fine. Can you take a photo of the back of them and send it to my phone, please, to make sure that they played?" "We double-checked them, and the DVDs worked. Can you send me a photo of the blank DVDs?" And again, with the new part, I'll have the formal emails with the headers and everything to show you that that's real. And what she's talking about is that because I had to work on 2 separate editing systems throughout the night. Huh, baby? I had to work on 2 separate editing systems. I had to work on one editing system that was Final Cut Pro, and the other one was Adobe Premiere. And by the way, the new Mac Final Cut Pro is awful. I don't know why they made the interface the way they did. It's awful. Adobe Premiere. Okay, sorry to go on a rant there. But I had to work on 2 different editing systems. And so 3 of the 6 discs, 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6. Yeah. 3 or 4 of the 6 discs were on a different editing system, so they had a different menu. They had actually hit play to watch. And then the other discs were just autoplay. And so she couldn't figure that out. Oh, no, I guarantee she figured it out, but she wanted them all working the same after working as Slice Slaves. She wanted them all working the same. And so she was like nitpicking, right, to try to like get the discs for free. So that was that instance. And anyway, the discs worked. The discs actually worked the first batch she ordered. And then she gives me, and then I sent her edits to review, and I gave her edits to the sleeves for the next order she asked for, because I didn't want to work for her anymore, and so I just gave her the edits for the graphic design work for the second batch she ordered. I said, "Here are the edits. Please review them before printing them off. Have a nice Christmas if I don't hear back from you all." I'm so vindictive, huh? Don't I sound so vindictive in these emails? And she goes, "Hi, Theo, still some issues. Just resigned from one of my groups, so please change the first line from 94 to 2016. Director of Vaccine Research, and the word Michigan is not lined up at this time. The other words do not currently line up," and then blah, blah, blah. And at that point, I mean, it got so bad that she was just constantly changing things constantly that I just was like, my wife and I, the last email was basically, "We'll get back to you as soon as we can." And we never got back to her, right? Because we just was like, we just leave us alone. And so they came out in this new thing that talked ill stuff about my work and how bad I am and stuff. Anybody knows. And I implore you, if you're ready to come out against Kent Hovind and speak the truth of my character as a witness, and there's others that are going to do that, call me, 520-510-3982. I'm not this crazy person that Kent Hovind's trying to make me look like. In fact, the first part of this expose, I purposely did it on the fly to show you all, I'm not making this up, that I have memories of this. Why would I memorize these things if it was a lie? And I'm not going to change my story either, okay? It's not a lie. And so I vented. Yes, I vented. I'm a human being. And he's going to use that. I knew he would, to try to make me look bad. And so he came out with this video that's full of lies, and it's okay. He dug a deeper pit. He dug a deeper, that was the purpose, so that he would lie more, so I could catch him in more lies. So good job there, buddy. Good job, Kent. And thank you, everybody who's supporting us. Thank you. You know, we prayed about doing this, exposing this guy, and I prayed for months. I would cry about it because I didn't want to do it. And God just kept laying it in my heart, do it, do it, do it, do it. And we finally did it, and now we have tremendous support. And so, Kent, I know that in the video somewhere you make fun of like 50 people, 40 people following us, and then you're like, oh, 40 people following us. Listen, David took out Goliath with a stone. I don't care about the numbers, man. I care about the truth. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. John 8:32, ye shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free.